climbing trees like we did when we were children, scaling walls, the walls that took us years to build. Climbing trees, haven't much since we were children, the shaking limbs tend to end up bent and broken. Safe inside the walls we built, we found ourselves a home. Climbing trees, haven't much since we were children, shaking limbs tend to end up bent and broken, but heartache pales in comparison to love.
Hey, Sonder family. Welcome to our coloring social this evening. It's been a week already. I'm tired and I need this chill out time with you. I'm so glad to see you. Malika is on the call with me and we are just really we're glad to hang. This is such a special time because it's a little bit different from the other times we dig into our journal. Hey, thanks, Brenda. Man, it was well past due for a haircut. My gal had a baby and she went part time, and I could not get in, and so it kept getting longer and longer. I'm really glad to see y'all. So I just asked if you're an independent music fan, indie music, that group that we just heard, that song is called Trees, and it's by the Oh Hellos. And I was telling Malika, so their mom went to high school with my husband. They're from the back home in the Houston area, and they made it really big. They've got a couple of big numbers out there that have been I'll be watching some drama on TV, and I'll hear, "Hello, My Old Heart," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's Oh Hello." So anyway, um, if you're looking for a fun indie band to follow, the Oh Hellos is great, and I just thought I've got to play that song "Trees" because of our coloring page tonight. So, welcome. Be sure your chat is set to everyone because we're going to do a little bit of sharing. But as you know, this time together is a little different from our other work in our journal. This is really our mindfulness practice, just like a yoga practice. And so I'm going to just encourage you to take what you need, visit as much as you want, or just let the chat go by and look at your page and concentrate on that. Or maybe you're doing something else. Maybe you are working on another slow hobby, but you love the idea of this community gathered together with music that's going to kind of settle our hearts and souls. And so you might be sitting with something else. You are always invited to come with whatever. I was going to go to Sonder Club and say, if you need to paint your nails, grab your bottle of polish and come paint with us. So this is just that quiet, artsy, creative time that we have with one another once a month, and I just love it. Because it's so good for our vitality to take that balance and chill out a little bit, right? Just chill out. There are those community guidelines. We share them whenever we're together. Is anybody joining us for your very first coloring social? If so, drop that me in the chat. Of course, we all see each other's names. There's a bunch of us that are here all the time, and here we are again. But we would like to welcome you. Kathy, welcome. Molly, welcome. Molly, I love your name because my daughter's name is Molly with an IE. I love that. I wonder, is it a family name? Ours was a family name. Terry's here for the first time. So yeah, again, if you're here for the first time, feel free to come with anything that will just still your hearts, right? And help you take a little bit slower approach. Oh, your nickname. I love that. IE is the best way to spell it, Maggie with an IE. I agree. So there's those community guidelines. I got to stay focused, right? And we put those up every time we gather together because we do create safe spaces and we want you to remember that. And our time together is a very chill time. This social is a little bit shorter. It usually runs around 45 minutes, just so that our hands don't get cramped up. We do open with this opening activity that's a little short, a little mindful, and then we're going to have our coloring time and our closing time. And Maggie, you're making me laugh because there was a dog up the street. And this woman would come out the door in our neighborhood and holler, "Molly!" And my daughter would be, she didn't know where it was coming from. She thought it was her. Anyway, we'll have our coloring time and then we'll close up our time. So I want you to take some deep breaths right now, just like if we were going to start a yoga practice or a meditative practice. And because of our coloring page, I'm really embracing trees. We actually used trees in our monthly exclusive, paying tribute to Women's History Month. So I'm all about the trees this month. So just take a look at those trees, and I'm going to show you the next slide. Will tell you a little bit about the tree. So we've got the bur oak, the eastern cottonwood, the black walnut, the American elm, the hickory tree, and the maple tree. We have those 6 trees. So I want you to choose one that speaks to you. I'll go back to the picture, the way they looked. Maybe there's one of these in your yard, or you have one from your past where you lived. So that could evoke a little bit of joy. I think maple trees are so pretty because they have those beautiful colors in the fall. Okay, so let's go back to this one. There's our tree. Okay, do you guys all have your tree, right? Okay, I'm going to put on a little bit of music, like a little half minute. And I'm going to show you an affirmation. And while that little like 45-second song is playing, I want you to just take some deep breaths and just repeat to yourself a couple of times the affirmation that you are about to see that you've selected with your tree. This is just a grounding moment so that we can release the day and get ready. You can be as many trees as you want, India. Yes. But we're just going to ground ourselves so that we are ready to lean into our practice. So here are the affirmations. Find your affirmation. I'm going to put on a little bit of music while you center yourself, put your feet on the ground, take some slow, deep breaths, and say these affirmation this your affirmation or two to yourself. Ah, good work. Just a little moment to kind of recenter after a busy start of the week. So now we're ready to color, and I love, love, love this tree. And y'all, back in before we ever had Sonder socials, we had Sonder circles, which were very intimate events that our Sonder family could participate in. And so we didn't even have coloring socials. But in September of 2021, this is the coloring page that we did. And many of you may have opened your journal and went, "Hey, haven't we had this tree before?" Well, no. I thought we did, but when I pulled mine out, I realized, nope, it's a different tree, but it's got the same vibes. Do y'all remember this? Any of you folks who have been there, been with us for a long, long time? I love, love, love the tree. The tree just can represent so much in our life. So I'm real excited about our page tonight. So, yeah, here we go. It was September of 2021. You might remember that. And I can remember people being in Sonder Club going, "This one, this one's taking me forever," because it's got all the same little details that this tree has. But I have some tips and tricks because I know a lot of you have been to many of these. I thought if you're looking for a way to maybe change things up just a little bit, I have some suggestions for you to consider. So, for our tree tonight, you might want to think about your favorite season and let that guy, like if you love the fall and all those colors, then embrace those browns and oranges and golds for the tree. Like lean into your favorite season. Maybe it's all different shades of green because it's springtime for you, or maybe you love the summer when everything is in blossom and so it's going to be very colorful. Um, again, for mindfulness, change it up. And I'm right-handed, but what does it look like if you try your page using your non-dominant hand? Let me tell you how good that is for your brain. So even for just a moment or two, just try coloring with your non-dominant hand and notice how much more you concentrate and meditate on your page. It fires some things in there that may not be getting fired, right? Like makes those synapses pop. You could lay on your stomach. You don't have to, but that's an option. Like change position. Maybe you lay on your tummy and feel the grounding of the floor while you color. Um, Grab two shades of the same color, like two greens, and play around with layering and starting light, adding dark, and start just playing around with what shading could look like. if you normally just stick to one color. Also try several mediums. So instead of just using colored pencils or just using the Jelly Roll pens, use colored pencils and markers and crayons and pens. Like use lots of media. Or try your hand at grayscale. What does that look like if you use blacks and grays and lots of shading? Even eraser, like so you color some and then you go over it with erasure. See what that looks like. This again, just if you need to want to try a couple things to change up your practice. Start with a light base layer and then go darker and darker as you play around with blending. Again, this is about just some suggestions and taking what you want to do. There's no requirements here. Now, this tree, if we when we get a page like this, I know for me, especially now, even just 4 years later, my hands hurt. I'm getting some really bad spots in my hands with arthritis, and so sometimes these little spaces feel very daunting. A couple of suggestions. One is, you can color that whole treetop green and then go back in and add in those layers of darker greens to kind of highlight, but just do it in a bigger swoop. Don't break all that down, right? Because it can really bother your hands. Or you can actually draw a shape on top of that. Maybe a big heart goes in the middle of that tree, and you color your heart in, and then the rest, whatever's left of the tree, you work on. That's a suggestion. You could use a stencil for a shape on top of that, or even write like bubble letters and make your word of the year or your word, your feeling word this week, like wherever you are right now, and use some of that space, take it up with a word that speaks to you. And that will take some of those small spaces away, which then makes it feel a little less daunting with that. Now, other folks are like, this is my jam, and I'm going to color every single space different. And so you do that too. This page has beautiful negative space, and I've got an example to show you. So remember that negative space above, all that white space that you can use in a creative way. Again, I have a couple of examples to show you. Again, you can incorporate that large text onto the coloring sheet. And also to change things up, it's kind of fun. Have you ever put a sheet of like sandpaper under paper and then drawn with like a crayon or colored pencil? It'll give you like texture. And so you can think of things that you could do, paper towels, things that will add that texture. Remember those rubbings we do when we were kids? And then finally, do you have some stickers that you could put? You that could also kind of cut down on the coloring if you put some of your own flower stickers on there. So just some suggestions to change things up a little bit. There are the benefits of adult coloring. We know it's so good for us. And then I have some things to share with you. Megan colored with her 7-year-old, and I love that. So if you have a coloring partner that you can grab, there we go. And if you love this page, make a copy of it before you color, and then you can have it, to doodle on again. We've got lots of examples, and I've put some quotes on here in case you wanted to add a quote to your page. But this tree is outlined instead of colored in. Again, very, very mindful. It's gonna occupy your mind. It's gonna help everything kind of calm down. You're gonna get those cortisol levels lowered because it's just this tracing, tracing, tracing. So there's a way that you could do that. It's so sweet. And then there's a couple of stickers in that negative space, and you can see how this tree's been colored in. And like, look at that pink flower kind of in the kind of sort of middle left part. So you could take that whole thing, color it in pink, and then go back in and layer in that darker pink in the color, in the center of those flowers, like that person did. So just some ways to frame that out. And then another beautiful a quote at the top, kind of some, blue sky there in the negative space. Okay, again, if it feels daunting, what about drawing stripes with some markers? How cool is that? I feel like that should be a wallpaper. I just was so taken with the color combinations and just that, again, mindfulness of making those motions, getting your mind occupied. When your mind is focused on this, it settles it down from all the other stuff. And then this is an example of someone who is using the digital version of Silk and Sonder. And now I'm thinking I need to try the digital version because how cool is that? And I'm not sure if they needed, I'm certain they would need a artistic app to be able to take their pen and draw, but that was kind of fun. And again, a lot of quotes there. And this is response to a daily ritual, and someone, it was that garden daily ritual this month, and they have responded in that space. So perhaps you save this for a daily ritual or you use it as a journaling space in conjunction with your coloring page. I loved this poster, affirmations from a tree, and it's all the things, the way we can be like a tree. So there's our examples. I'm going to go back and forth, whoops, between all these pages. I'll just kind of scroll through. I have lots of cool music for us to listen to, and we're going to begin tonight by listening to a complete work by Gene Sibelius. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he is a composer from Finland. I believe he passed away in the late 50s, and he wrote 5 pieces um, on it's just called The Tree. And there's different movements, and I'm going to go really quickly so you can see. There's our playlist. So it's When the Rowan Blossoms. The second number is the solitary fir tree. The third one is the aspen. The fourth one is the birch. And the fifth one is the spruce. So you're going to get a whole complete master's work tonight. It takes, probably about 10 minutes to go through all the pieces, but I thought that would be kind of fun. And Karen, yes, ma'am, I'm going to go back through all of those tips and tricks. But I kind of wanted you to know like why that the front end of our music was sounding the way it is. We're going to listen to a masterpiece this evening. Y'all take a deep breath and dive in to your page. Classical music pairs so nicely with the mindfulness of a coloring practice. The benefits of the listening to classical music are very similar to the same things we get from our coloring practices, so they pair very nicely. It positively impacts the brain by enhancing your focus, your memory, and your creativity. It also reduces stress when you listen to classical music, and it can potentially improve your cognitive function and emotional well-being. So, it was. Thank you for indulging me and letting me kind of lean into a work of art pairing with our trees tonight. And some of these, the rest of our songs are also about trees, but they're going to be just kind of random songs. So I appreciate you doing that. I hope that you are noticing how you are feeling now, that you're a little more settled, you're breathing slower. You just feel like you've been able to leave a little bit of the day behind, the week behind. So pay attention to those things that are happening in your body as you're working through your practice. And I'll put on some more music and feel free to share along the way as things are coming up for you, or maybe you're noticing that this practice is helping turn your brain on to kind of solve some things instead of staying stuck in a panic, kind of frame of mind, or a what am I going to do? It's helping you kind of do some processing. So feel free to share as we're going along, and then I'll be back to check in with you in just a little bit. This time of meditation and recentering always goes so quickly, but I am really glad that you decided to carve out a little bit of time to color or to sit with your journal or get caught up or just listen to music and be with the community, right? Just being. So thanks for joining us. Malika's going to drop the necessary links for other information that you might find helpful. We would love to see your trees posted in Sonder Clubs. And, if you did anything with that negative space, let us talk about it. Tell why you chose to put that in that negative space up at the top. I haven't gotten my April journal yet, so I'm very excited about next month's coloring page and getting, that's the first page I look at when the journal gets dropped in my mailbox. I open it up and I always go to the coloring page. So I want to see yours. But oh, you're not home to get it, are you, Andrea? So yeah. Well, you know what, Tanya, feel free to bubble that information to hello at silkandsonder.com and let headquarters know that you'd like to see this last a little bit longer. The time, it really is so good, right? Just to kind of breathe a little bit. So there is our playlist again, and I'll drop I'm on Spotify if you'd like to go grab this list. This is actually a general list that I made, and it's called Garden, Flowers, and Trees. And so it's, anything that grows in the ground is on this playlist, but all the music we heard tonight is been shuffled up to the top. So if you enjoyed that and you wanted to go grab that, feel free to do so. I'm just so honored that you chose to spend time with Malika and me and yourself and your journal. And then, it'll be great. I think I have a social next week. It's one of the journal prompts, like the last couple of journal prompts that we haven't covered yet. So I'll be back doing that. But y'all have a really, really good evening. I hope that you just feel a little bit lighter from the start of the week and that it helps you finish this week strong and filled with vitality. I'll see you soon, Sonder family.